Happy 4th to everybody, no doubt about it. And yes, my radio partner, I saw his tweet that the Clippers are out, which I'm disappointed if that is indeed the case, because that's where I thought he should have gone.
Glad you're disappointed, too.
I am.
But not as disappointed as those folks are right
Exactly.
now.
Everything was stacked up for that.
Yep.
You know, they cleared space. They had everything set up. And the only reason I thought the Clippers would make more sense, because he wanted to come back to California and L.A. The Clippers, to me, were more his speed. You know, you're in L.A., you're playing in the same building, and to me, the reward was higher.
Agreed.
The Lakers have already won many great players, not to take anything away from had he, you know, if he winds up going there.
You want to be a part of that.
Right? To me was, after what he did in Toronto, taking a team with no lottery picks, he was basically banished by San Antonio to NBA Siberia, affectionately known as Toronto. And he went there, didn't make a stink, didn't pout, won a championship. Now you get to come to the Clippers. Clippers have no stars. They traded away Tobias Harris. All they do, everybody says, okay, they're going to tank the rest of the season.
Yep.
They'll keep their pick in the first round. No, they make the playoffs. They win 48 games. They lose in the first round, but they go to Golden State. They beat them twice in Oakland with a healthy KD. One like they got some break and they were able to win or whatever. So you take all of that they have put together. I love Patrick Beverley. I love Lou Williams.
Really?
Doc Rivers. I do. And I'm saying
More than LeBron? More than AD?
I'm just saying, and you know what? I looked at them a little bit like that 2004 Pistons team that won a championship that beat the Lakers. Skip, they didn't have any stars on that team. A lot of good players, don't get me wrong. Rasheed, Chauncey, Rip. But they didn't have any
Four-time
stars.
Defensive Player of the Year, Ben Wallace.
But Ben Wallace wasn't even drafted, was he?
No.
I don't think he was drafted.
No.
So I'm just saying, it reminded me, if he would have been able to come to the Clippers, join that team, win a championship, go to the finals, take a team that was a laughingstock for most of its history in the NBA, his legacy, his name would be in the stratosphere in the NBA.
Imagine if he comes to the Lakers and wins a title
He's
with
just-
all those Pantheon greats.
He's just a third wheel on a team with great
he's not
players.
a third wheel.
He is a
No,
third
he's
wheel
not.
on the Lakers. Yes, he is.
No.
He would be the third wheel, and that's why.
Why do you need
I
a
don't
third
think that.
wheel?
Because
That's what
I
wanna
see
know.
what you guys try to do. What you're trying to do, you're going to be a third wheel. Don't go with LeBron. Compete against LeBron. All you guys, everybody trying to guilt him. But at the end of the day, this is what I love most about Kawhi. He does what he does. He don't listen to you. Definitely doesn't listen
So
to you.
if he goes back to Toronto, you'll be saying what?
I ain't going to be saying anything.
You'll be good with that.
I'm cool with it.
He
Because
will
I
not
still,
be cool
he
with
won't.
it.
You'll be
He'll be-
upset. Everybody in
he'll be
LA
furious.
will be sick over it, because this will be another example of where here was LeBron, had a chance to get somebody, and they decided against LeBron.
But what happens when he goes there? What you gonna say then?
No, but then,
why would he want to play with LeBron? Why does he want to be a third wheel?
I'll be the first one to say that I was wrong.
No.
I would be the first one to say I was wrong.
Why does he want to go be a third wheel?
I don't understand why he wants to go.
He want to play with LeBron.
Are you sure? Or is it Los Angeles and the Lakers because he grew up following that team and idolizing
I'm confused.
that uniform?
You're confusing
I'm asking
me.
you.
He doesn't want to play with LeBron. He doesn't want to play with LeBron. And if he doesn't sign with him, that's an indictment on LeBron. But if he signs with the Lakers, is it LeBron, or does he just want to play with the Lakers?
No, I didn't say.
Yes, you did.
I'm going to give LeBron credit if he does sign up, because this will be, Skip, a guy I totally misread, and he's not who I thought he was.
Well, that's
if
what
he signed with LeBron.
That's what that Columbia Online agreed to do for you.
It wasn't online. I took classes.
That's what it do for you, Skip. You don't get that read. Look, I believe, and Skip, we've gone back and forth with this. Skip really thought that he was going to the Clippers. And for me, it was always the Raptors or the Lakers.
You mean once they got the money?
Yeah. No, well,
You never thought that?
I didn't think it was a viable option. And when we said, okay, if they can make max cap space, if they can get Kawhi, you go after Kawhi. If you don't go after any other player. Nobody else gets that max slot if it's not Kawhi. And then you go sign other guys. But you wait on Kawhi. The Clippers traded Blake Griffin. They traded the guy that they got for Blake Griffin and Tobias Harris. They opened up, they wanted 2 max players. This hurts them more than the Lakers because the Lakers got one of the prize. If Anthony Davis was on the
I'll give you
market,
that.
he would be a prize free agent.
No doubt.
And they would have wanted a meeting with Anthony Davis. They got him via trade. Now, they had to give up something, but they got a prize guy. The Clippers are going to be left with, and Patrick, I love Patrick Beverly, love his game, but you're not going to win a title with Patrick Beverly. You're not going to win a title with Lou Williams. That's not going to happen. Superstar. Now, you can win a title if you got a superstar and Patrick Beverly and Lou Williams and those guys around. You can win a title. But normally it's going to take 2. Now, you got to admit, now, Toronto did catch a huge break, literally and figuratively, because one guy snapped his Achilles and the other guy snapped his ACL.
Thank you.
That's a huge break.
But also, I get it, but you can only play who's in front of you. Just like when the Warriors won their first championship, they got a break.
So for me, I always thought it was going to be Toronto and the Lakers. And when it's all said and done, I still believe 92.8. I believe that he's going to go to the Lakers.
What is that, a radio station, 92.8? What is that?
Well, yesterday I was 96, 94.6. I went down to 90, and then when Chris Broussard tweeted, I'm back up, moving up that needle moving Skip.
Shannon, I hate to inform you, the media tide is rising in favor of Toronto here. Now, Frank Isola has tweeted that it's closer to 99.9%. He's a longtime NBA reporter.
So he's doing the Jalen Rose 99.9?
He's taking it up all. No, Jalen was just
99. You're right.
So he says he's hearing it's closer to 99.9. Does that dilute your 90?
No, because all we need is I got faith like a mustard seed. All we need is that 1%.
Well, I'm going to remind you, our friend Chris Broussard yesterday was 90% Lakers, and now he's 50-50. The last 2 words of his tweet, very close. Would that mean 50-50?
That would be close, right?
Yes.
But that doesn't sound like 90%.
Okay,
No.
all right. So the point is, I also feel sorry for the Clippers because Chris Broussard just flat out wrote, Clippers out. Period. End of story. Well, if that's true, they're devastated right now. They're having the worst 4th of July anybody can
With
have.
99.9, that means Clippers are out.
Okay.
I guess they can get that 0.5 or the 1% that we think the Lakers are.
Okay, so I'm with Rob. I wanted to see him lift the Clippers. I tweeted this yesterday. If he could lift the Clippers to a championship, then I would really be impressed. I'd start calling him by his real name, right? Because that would be a feat. Because what he did in San Antonio, he's the Finals MVP, and he stole it. I still don't even get how he got to be MVP. But he's playing alongside 3 Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Then he goes to Toronto, and by the way, I know it was Siberia effectively in your head.
Right.
But Siberia was 59 and, 33?
23.
23.
I got
59 and 23 the year before. They had the best record in the East, Siberia did. So he joined a team that was already pretty good. Why they fired their coach, I don't know, but it worked because they picked the right guy who pushed all the right buttons, the right psychological buttons. So then they go get Gasol at the trade deadline, and it's a good basketball team, and it's pretty much back intact, I guess. So you can make the case, but I never thought, remember the Lou Williams quotes, and they were recruitment kind of quotes, but he said you just never really get comfortable if you're from the United States living in Canada.
Right.
It's a foreign country.
Yeah. And I love that city. You've been there.
I've been there
And
many times.
I like to visit. I wouldn't want to live there because it does get very cold and everything's different. The money's different. The TV stations are all different.
The TV is very different.
It's very different. But the point is, in the big picture, I get why he would stay there because maybe he looks at the Clippers like, I don't know if I have the guts to go do that. And we just saw, I dared him last week, have the guts to go compete. But, man, you're going solo star with a really loaded basketball team, but you don't have a co-star up against LeBron and AD in the same building. I guess he doesn't have those kind of guts.
Nobody does. Everybody tried to link up. Everybody tried to put pairs together.
If there was a second star, though, like
Jimmy Butler
went to Miami, that would make sense considering with what they already had.
Okay, but he had the guts. Jimmy, he goes to his own beat. He just said, I want to go do this by myself.
Yeah.
My man Dwayne was down there, and I want to be the next Dwayne.
Yep.
Right?
Took a year less than $50 million because he had 5 for $190. Now he's got 4 for $141.
Yep.
Was it that or the sunshine? That was such off the beaten path. And I'm not saying he should team up, and I give people respect if you want to do what you want to do and do your own thing.
Right.
And Kawhi's case, I'm with you now. I think it has tilted back to Toronto because the longer it took for me, I didn't understand this part. If his number one choice was the Lakers and they had the money to give him, what was the holdup? And this whole notion that, well, he wanted to give the Clippers a chance. Oh, he wanted to give here Toronto. I don't have to go back. If I'm breaking up with a girlfriend, I don't need to take you out to a lobster dinner.
No, you a coward.
No, I don't need to do that.
You're going to do it by text message.
Wouldn't you rather get a phone call from me and say, hey, it's just not working out?
Tell me to my face. I want you to tell it to my face.
I'm going to take you out to dinner and break up at the restaurant.
Don't be sneaking around.
I'm not
I got to hear
sneaking.
from somebody else. Well, Shannon, I don't know if you were still in a relationship, but I saw such and such. Nah. Tell me. Look me in my eye and tell me. And that's what he's doing to Toronto.
What I normally get is my number's just blocked. I don't even get it.
Yeah, that's what they should do. So they're really telling you they're done with you.
They just blocked my number.
That 1%, Skip, that 1%, what's going to happen with us? One little measly percent.
Really?
Yep.
I think you're getting nervous.
You know it.
Why?
You want another bet?
Skip, why would I be nervous if we got 6'10.5",
okay, well
25, 12, and 2?
That's all you got.
That's a fallback.
Yeah, good
that's
luck.
a hell of a fallback.
You know what we're going to hear? We're going to hear the same exact thing when Paul George didn't want to come. It'll be, we didn't want him anyway. We don't need him. We got AD. That's exactly what the narrative will be if he picks Toronto. We didn't need Kawhi. We got LeBron and AD. We'll be just fine. No, they won't be.
We wanted him. Do we need him? Because Magic said he was preparing for 2 max slots. He got 2 max players, and he cleared enough cap space to get a third. Now, if we don't get the third, you still got AD. You make it seem like the cupboard's bare.
Who else do they have?
Name a team that can trot out 2 better players opening night of basketball season.
They might be good individual players, but do they make a team?
Hey,
okay, that's the other part.
Shannon, bottom line, this is going to be another stain on LeBron's reputation if he says no.
No, it won't.
It will be.
It just will. It's like it's just set up.
Okay, so what do you put on his resume if he gets Kawhi to come? Or is that another star by his name?
I'll give him an endorsement. I will.
No, you won't.
Yes,
no, you
I
won't.
will.
Why would he want to play with LeBron? You should want to beat LeBron. That's what you're going to say. You're going to be mad. Everybody be in their fields over here, but not me.
I might be jumped up on this table if he says goes to Toronto.
Gentlemen, thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.